Good evening, godless sodomites.
What are you doing?
I'm bringing the truth, John. We're in Hollywood, the belly of the beast. Kneel before your God, Babylon!
I'm definitely not going to sleep tonight. Most people think TikTok is a safe platform to indulge in some of your favorite content. But what if I told you there's a much darker side to it that you were not aware of? And you may be wondering, Sean, what do you mean by that? What I mean is TikTok is not what it seems, and I'm gonna expose it and you're coming along with me. Yes, you. Don't get scared now. You clicked on the video, you know what you signed up for. So make sure you watch till the end because this is gonna change everything as we know it. And don't watch alone because this is gonna get terrifying. What's even scarier than the TikToks we're about to watch today is the fact that 75% of you guys are not subscribed to the channel. So make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe for more scary videos. Thank you.
Breaking news, a second suspect has officially been identified in the case of David and Celeste. We have some pretty big updates. So TMZ just released this article saying LAPD homicide detectives have now ID'd a second suspect in the death of Celeste, and it's someone who law enforcement says could be involved before, during, and after. This comes from Mark Garagos, who said that law enforcement used a combination of cell phone and Tesla data along with location data from social media. And they keep bringing up this mysterious trip that David took to a remote area of Santa Barbara County in the middle of the night last spring, and investigators believe that Celeste's body may have been in the car. And they said that various data shows that the second suspect may have also been in the vehicle. Now, they didn't give a name, but as you may remember, the private investigator who saw the last person to drive David's Tesla posted this, asking, was it Neo? Neo was a very close friend of David's. They were seen everywhere together, so much so that people thought that they were more than friends. Now, what's also circulating is a picture of David and what's believed to be another victim. This user posted this, and there's validity to the picture itself. It doesn't seem to be AI generated. As you may remember, David did send these text messages to someone who wasn't Celeste, and that just makes you think, how many victims did he actually have? Rest in peace to Celeste. Let me know what you guys think about this, and as always, I'll keep you guys updated.
Bro, this story just keeps getting more and more strange. So David's best friend, possible boyfriend, helped him take out his underage girlfriend. But leave it up to celebrities to always find a way to ruin their careers and their lives.
He soaped up his legs and squeezed into a baby swing, hoping to win $100 from his friends. But he soon realized he was stuck. His friends abandoned him, leaving him alone in the park all night. For 9 hours, the man screamed for help, but nobody came. Until the next morning when a groundskeeper found him. He called 911 and rescuers cut the swing off the chains. They took him to the hospital where doctors used a saw to free him, leaving him with swollen legs.
I feel like most of us have been through this same scenario. Obviously not going to the hospital and getting a swing surgically removed from you, but we all definitely tried to get into this swing when we should not have.
Should you eat McDonald's French fries even once in a while? After you hear this, I think you'll say no. Okay, first of all, you can see how perfectly white they are because they allow no blemish in their potatoes. Oh yeah, not one blemish. And how they accomplish that? They get rid of this little aphid that is the guy that causes this, and they spray it with one of the most toxic pesticides on the planet. After the farmer sprays it, he can't be in the field for 5 days. Oh, after they harvest them, it has to go in a special atmosphere-controlled environment for 6 weeks. That's how toxic it is. It's not safe to eat. Guess how many chemicals, or guess how many ingredients I found in this? Oh, not one, potatoes. Potatoes are one of the 11 that I found, but I had to write them down. Vegetable oil, which consists of soybean oil, canola oil, corn oil, and which are horrible for you, by the way. Natural beef flavors, not so natural. It's hydrolyzed wheat and hydrolyzed milk. Horrible for you. Wheat, milk derivatives, dextrose, sodium, acid, and pyrophosphate and salt. 11 plus ingredients and a load of chemicals. I don't suggest it.
This woman slow cooked her children alive. Now, almost 7 years later, she got a life sentence for it. In October of 2017, Lamora Williams came home and called the police saying she found her 2 sons dead, but she was the one that put them in the oven and turned it on. This happened in Atlanta, Georgia, and her sons were only 1 and 2 at the time. After police found her suspicious and found burn marks all over the kids, they investigated a little further. After digging further, they found out Lamora Williams lied and did not even have the children's caregiver around. She didn't have a babysitter and she didn't have any family around to watch them. Investigators found out she probably put the boys in the oven the night before, turned it on, and then tipped it over so they couldn't get out. The autopsy of their skin found the burn marks were equivalent to being slow cooked for about 8 to 12 hours, maybe even more. After Williams did this, she FaceTimed the father, Jameel Penn. In an interview, he said it was like Friday the 13th. He called the police immediately after seeing this. Last week on Friday, November 15th, she was served a life sentence in prison. Her mother also cited Lamora Williams has a ton of mental health issues that may have led to this. Her two sons' names were Jacarter Penn and Keontae Penn. Let me know what you guys think about this story.
What a great way to start the day. I wake up, open TikTok, and now I hear that this lady cooked her children alive. Okay. What is wrong with these people? Like, I feel like there's plenty of other options you could figure out if you really truly do not want to be a mother. But I think the absolute worst idea would be this. Other people do not deserve to suffer just because you don't want to take your own responsibility.
I'm sorry, but what is happening in New York? Okay. Sea underwater. Oh my. This is absolutely as insane as it looks, and I can't believe I'm saying it, but it is 100% true. When you think of places that are sinking, you think of the Maldives or Venice, which are, getting submerged daily. And in the next few decades, some of these places could be fully underwater and gone from existence. But I don't think you would think of major cities, especially New York. So apparently New York is sinking, but it gets far crazier because why is it sinking? Well, because of the weight of its skyscrapers. What do you mean? Reportedly weighing over 762 billion kilograms. I mean, obviously that would kind of push Manhattan underwater. I mean, I think I could bench that. But of course, New York is situated in quite a small area, especially like actual Manhattan, which sits over the Hudson River. So with all of that weight condensed into it, you can see how that would affect it. Of course, I don't think we're going to be seeing it fully submerged underwater anytime soon, and these things take years and decades and centuries. But it is possible that some of the more coastal areas could start flooding in the next few years or decades. So let me know if you live there and I'll keep you updated.
These men were just arrested for planning something absolutely horrific. Gavin Weisenberg and Tanner Thomas of North Texas were arrested after federal investigators uncovered their deranged plan to sail to a Haitian island, massacre every man living there, and turn the women and children into sex slaves. Court documents say they weren't just fantasizing. They were buying a sailboat, gathering weapons, recruiting homeless people as soldiers, and even running crude training drills in rural Texas where they practiced ambushes and mock executions. Prosecutors say they mapped out the island on Google Earth, drafted a post-conquest government, and talked openly about executing the men, breeding the women, and raising enslaved children, all while one of them was coercing a minor into creating explicit material. The FBI foiled the plot before they could leave Texas, but the indictment describes a plan so violent and delusional, it reads like a real-life blueprint for a modern-day genocide. They now face up to life in federal prison if convicted of the conspiracy charge, and up to 30 years for the charges relating to CP.
Alright, what's going on here? What is going on the set of Wicked? There is now a third actress, Michelle, who looks drastically different in the way she looks, and I know this is a very controversial subject, so I'm not going to talk about it too much, but like, what's going on this set? Is there like a requirement that you have to look a certain way to be in this movie, or is there just something going on? I don't know. But there's another Wicked coming out, so you've probably seen clips of all of these people all over your social media. And I think the clips are actually the worst part. It's getting out of hand, actually. Let me show you a couple. You have Cynthia Erivo having a panic attack or an anxiety attack because a helicopter flew over the interview. Look at her, and Ariana's just like holding her. Really, for real? You have Ariana Grande getting randomly side-hugged by a fan, which I get, people don't want to be touched, but Cynthia Erivo hugs her and caresses her like she's been ruthlessly attacked. Wow. Next, you have a man that grabs Ariana Grande's hand, and yet again, Cynthia Erivo saves her and caresses her hand. I hope she recovers. And I'm not the only one who feels this way. People are recreating these interviews and making a joke out of it.
Yeah. Where are you from? Dayton, Ohio? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Look, maybe this is one big marketing scheme, but this is one of the biggest movies in the world, and a lot of girls want to be like these two women. I know me growing up, I wanted to be like a lot of the actors I was watching because they were so cool, and this is just weird. And I feel like if people start to act like this, it is not good.
According to the CIA, we have superhuman abilities. Watch this.
So the CIA released a document saying the universe is a hologram.
They did.
And basically the document teaches you how to access superhuman abilities as well as use your consciousness to shift your reality. I'm breaking down this document section by section, and this is part 4. This section is pretty short but very interesting because it talks about the use of the hemisync. What they noticed is by putting people through the hemisync system, they could have people access advanced states of meditation, maybe some states that would take the average meditator 20 years to reach, and they could have them reach it pretty much in 10 to 15 minutes. And these states would be where the left and right brain come into complete coherence, so much so that it seems like the whole body and the brain and heart come into coherence as well. which for anyone who's familiar with Dr. Joe Dispenza's work, he talks a lot about the power of brain and heart coherence. And for those who don't know, hemi-syncing is when you have a different frequency playing in each ear, both between 4 and 7 hertz. And based on what they're saying here, this accelerates your meditative experience and can help you astral travel or astral project much quicker.
According to the CIA, we have superhuman abilities. Watch this.
So the CIA released a document saying the universe is a hologram.
All right, let's see if this is true. Okay, it's definitely not true.
Snoop Dogg, I don't know, but at this point you're leaving everyone confused because a couple months ago you were receiving backlash after expressing how you were uncomfortable with explaining same-sex parents to your grandson.
That she had a baby with a woman. Well, my grandson in the middle of the movie like, Papa Snoop, how she have a baby with a woman? She a woman. Oh, shit. I didn't come in for this shit. I just came to watch the goddamn movie.
Now, all of a sudden, after 3 years, you decide to introduce gay couples in a show you made for kids? It doesn't make any sense. And I honestly don't even pay it any mind unless it's being pushed to kids. Then while explaining what the song meant, you were beating around the bush because you know what you're allowing is wrong. And I'm pretty sure your grandson watches your show, right? I don't really know what's going on here, but y'all pay attention to the interview and let me know what you think down below.
Love is Love is a record that my kids program, Doggyland, presented me, where it's the song where it's teaching love is love, it's teaching parenthood, it's teaching the situations that kids and the world is going through right now in a beautiful way through song, dance, melody, and just trying to get more understanding, clarity on how we live and the way we live. And I felt like this music is a beautiful, bridge to bringing understanding. This is a program that we've been doing for years where we involve kids, and these are things that kids have questions about. So now hopefully we can help answer these questions and, help them to live a happy life and understand that love is love.
Amen.
There are people who remember entire towns that don't appear on any map. Not old ones, not digital ones, not even historical records. There's a disturbing phenomenon called the memory gaps in maps. And if it's true, then there are entire places on Earth that were erased without anyone noticing. It usually starts the same way. Someone tries driving to a town they swear they've been to before. They remember the streets, the buildings, even the smell of the place. But when they search it online, nothing. No photos, no history, no map data. It's like the town never existed. One man in North Carolina said he grew up visiting a tiny mountain town called Rose Hollow. He remembers the diner on the corner. He remembers the rusty water tower. He even remembers getting lost near the old church with the red door. But here's the problem. There's never been a town called Rose Hollow in that entire region. Old maps, nothing. County records, nothing. Locals, they say the area he described is just forest and has always been a forest. And here's where it gets eerie. Everyone who reports this phenomenon remembers the same features: a water tower, a single diner, a church, one main street, and a small population. It's like they all visited the same forgotten place. Some people think these towns weren't erased. They were never meant to exist in this timeline, and our memories come from a version of reality where they did exist. Others think these towns exist in the in-between, slipping in and out of our world like bad rendering. But the darkest theory? These places are still out there, just not accessible by normal roads anymore. People say if you drive long enough, far enough, and ignore your GPS, you'll eventually reach a place the maps forgot. Stay weird.
People say Elon Musk has gone crazy and looks chaotic from the outside, but we're all wrong about him. Few people know that he owns The Boring Company, a company that drills tunnels underground. But why would Elon Musk do that? First, humans won't be able to live on the surface of Mars, so we'll have to build huge underground tunnel complexes. Then why does Elon also have a solar company? Simply to build large solar farms on Mars. On top of that, he owns a robotics company, which will make up for the lack of humans on Mars. We can't send 5 million people at once, but he can send millions of robots in advance. Elon also owns an AI company and a battery-powered car company. He didn't build all these companies just for fun. All of this has been part of a careful plan from the beginning to conquer Mars. When you take a step back, instead of saying he's crazy, you quickly see that what he's doing is coherent. Well, he probably wrote all of this while high and drunk, thinking he was the smartest man in the world.
So you can't just go straight, but we want to try to get to that point and secure the future of civilization as quickly as possible.
Good evening, godless sodomites.
What are you doing?
I'm bringing the truth, John. We're in Hollywood, the belly of the beast.
You can't just read the prompter?
I'm reading the prompter in here. Kneel before your God, Babylon!
When you think of Hollywood, it's like the New Age Tower of Babel. Not because it's fallen, but they both represent humanity's tendency towards pride, image crafting, perfection, and being godlike. And there's no bigger industry that's missold illusions and fantasies than Hollywood. So I agree with everything this guy just said. And the sooner people stop idolizing a bunch of humans who are really good at pretending, because in a nutshell, that's what acting is, then the better. Same goes for all the other entertainment industries. All just distractions to take you away from your true purpose.
Anytime I hear about Hollywood, it's something evil, demonic, or somebody's dead or going missing, or somebody's just spiraling out of control. Like, I have never genuinely heard anything good or positive about Hollywood or anything that they've done that's positive, besides make good movies.
What's that? Oh, a third shipping container randomly showed up in a farmer's field this time? What? Yeah, but this time the farmer went in to check it out, and he shows the video of going up to the container and showing that there's no markings on how that actually got there. So it had to be transported through the air and put down there, yet nobody knows how it got there. Okay. So he goes up to the container and obviously wants to open it up and see what's inside it. So he opens it up. Strangely enough, there's a bunch of buckets full of some sort of chemical. It looks like there's no lids on them, just filled to the brim of some chemical. And then behind those is some more meat. So now this is getting a little eerie at this point. So let's go ahead and steer clear of these shipping containers, okay? All right.
This has never happened before in recorded history. A whole country this morning woke up to the news I don't think they were ever expecting. For the first time in roughly 10,000 years, this volcano has come back from the dead. And not only did its explosion send ash up to 15 kilometers in the sky, which is significantly higher than commercial airplanes fly at, but this massive plume can be seen from space. Now, while fortunately the volcano is located in northeast Ethiopia, which is one of the hottest and least inhabitable regions on Earth, the emissions are so intense that they're now drifting towards neighboring countries as well. And this thing can be spotted in villages hundreds of kilometers away. Jeez! Happy Monday, Ethiopia!
Michael Jackson was trying to tell us they're casting spells on us through music. Check this out.
Singers, when they sing songs, it's like a mantra. Yeah. When you repeat a chorus over and over and over. So when a kid hears a song and he starts singing that chorus over and over and over, then you start to hear it in the alpha state, into the subconscious mind. So you start to become the song or become what you're saying.
Now, Michael Jackson being one of the greatest musicians to ever live, you can safely say that he's an authority figure when it comes to the subject of music. The reality is that music is one of the most powerful forms of programming.
Stay weird.
You don't just listen to it, you actually...
Morbid Facts, Part 757. In the summer of 2025, Jordan Peterson nearly died after developing pneumonia and sepsis that left him in the ICU for weeks. His daughter later revealed that the illness began after he was exposed to heavy mold while cleaning out his late father's basement, triggering what she called chronic inflammatory response syndrome, a rare and unofficial life-threatening immune condition. He reportedly suffered nerve damage, extreme sensitivities to medication, and even paralysis. It wasn't the first time Peterson's health had spiraled. Years earlier, he'd endured a near-fatal benzodiazepine withdrawal that required months of treatment abroad. This latest crisis left him bedridden and fighting for his life once again, with his daughter saying that for days, doctors weren't sure if he'd survive. Now, months later, Peterson is slowly recovering. He's reportedly regained much of his mobility, is speaking and reading again, and continues intensive physical therapy from home. His daughter says he's still very fragile but improving daily, though his public appearances, lectures, and recordings remain on hold as he focuses on regaining full strength after what she called the closest he's ever been to dying.
What's that? Oh, apparently scientists have discovered where our souls go while we're sleeping. Tell me more. Yeah, while these scientists were studying the brain, they noticed there was these microsurges happening when people got into deep sleep. But what is it, you ask? Oh, that's the moment that your soul is detaching from your body. Oh, goody. But what's even crazier is they were able to track that energy signature to where it went after it left the body. They found when it moves from the body, it goes to a place that is not on Earth, but is also on Earth. Yeah, what they're calling it is the echo field. Basically, once it leaves, it goes to this echo field where a bunch of other souls are during the time of sleep. They said that when you're actually waking up and sometimes you jump up and you think like you were falling off a cliff, that's actually your soul jumping back into your body, and it's kind of overshooting your body a little bit is what they're saying. Oh, fuck. So now what they're trying to figure out is what these souls are doing in this echo field when they're there.
I'm with Cash Money. You're going to do the same thing Soulja Boy did. You're going to do the same thing Bow Wow did. You're going to do the same thing that Waka Flocka Flavor did. What did they do after they got signed on these labels? They tattoo their whole body. Why you think they do that, yo? Just to be different? Nah. They did that because they was raped. They get they anal to be in this truth of the music industry, showing their honors to the people that's before them. That's the truth of the industry, that you're willing to take a man's penis in his anal. That's the truth. Okay? And when they did that, they just didn't do it one time. They did multiple times. And the only way they feel like they can get their dignity back is to tattoo their body to make them feel like I still have my manhood. What you think they did to B12, man, BK? They raped them boys, man. They popped them in that immature, they raped them boys. They literally raped them boys, dude. Tigger was done in too. All of them are. If they didn't follow the rituals, they could not get airplay. Did you?
If you can get juice from a potato,
13 years ago, when this video came out, everyone laughed at it. But today, every Ariana Grande fan is absolutely outraged by certain clips that have recently resurfaced. All of these videos show moments filmed backstage or posted only online. Every one of those bits was shot solely for Nickelodeon. What you need to know is that at that time, the channel was run by Dan Schneider, and this guy is known for being the very embodiment of creepy. There are videos of him in hot tubs with some of his young actresses. He constantly slipped adult humor into children's shows, and he made some of his young actors do things that were extremely unhealthy and clearly unacceptable. I'm going to show you another clip at the end of this TikTok that Ariana Grande had to film, and it genuinely leaves me confused. How far did the disturbing behavior go that Ariana Grande was exposed to while working for Nickelodeon? If you weren't aware, some of her co-stars from the same network have recently broken their silence to say they were not only abused, but repeatedly. We have the proof in the clip I showed you at the start. Let's hope someone as well known as Ariana eventually speaks up to reveal what happened to her. Now get ready to see the other clip, and you're going to have to tell me if you find it creepy or not, because according to Dan Schneider, he insists that everything he ever filmed for Nickelodeon is completely family friendly.
I'm soaking wet! Quick, somebody bring me... Come on! Give up the juice!
It's honestly disturbing because the audience for these shows is literally kids, so nobody would really pick up on references like this. Like, I used to watch all these shows when I was younger, and I never picked up on none of this, but seeing it now, it has a whole different meaning. It's just very gross how this dude got away with this for so long, and especially now, he's not even in jail, he's not facing any repercussions. Like,
brain rot is actually a thing. It has now been confirmed it exists. So the American Psychological Association did a study on short form video, and they found that people who consume a lot of short form video have less life satisfaction than people who don't, are more likely to have mental health problems than people who don't, get worse sleep than people who don't, and the attention span of people who regularly consume short form content is less than that of people who do not. And there were over 98,000 papers that kind of confirm that short form content is rotting our brains.
Scientists have found 2.6 million mysterious eggs underneath a underwater volcano. Literally, this is what they look like. A whole bunch of eggs. They don't know where the eggs come from, but we know the animals that do lay eggs. And so a lot of people are assuming, because they're kind of big, they're not really small eggs. A lot of people are assuming that it is Leviathan. That Leviathan has laid all these eggs, and there's going to be 2.6 million Leviathan that hatch from these eggs and take over the world. That's what a lot of people are thinking. If I'm being honest, I do think it's something pretty crazy. I just want to know what animal is laying 2.6 million eggs. Is it Leviathan from the Bible? Or is it a dragon? Because I've seen a lot of people saying that it's probably a dragon. It's near a volcano and it's underwater. Could it be a Leviathan breathing, fire breathing dragon? I don't think any of those things are beyond a realm of possibilities, considering the fact that everything and anything has been happening, and it's kind of weird what our world has been seeing lately. But what are these 2.6 million eggs? What creature could be inside of those eggs? It does not make sense to me.
Morbid Facts, Part 765. At just 8 years old, future UFC champion Ronda Rousey lived through a nightmare most fans never hear about. Her father, Ron Rousey, suffered a brutal sledding accident that shattered his back and left doctors warning him that he would slowly lose all mobility, develop a deadly blood disorder, and die in agonizing decline. Unable to face a future of paralysis and hopelessness, he made a devastating decision. He drove out alone one night and took his own life, leaving his wife and daughters behind. Ronda has said the trauma never left her, and that her rage, toughness, and kill or be killed mentality in the cage were born from that loss. In 2014, a Ryanair flight issued 3 warnings telling passengers not to eat nuts because a 4-year-old girl on board had a life-threatening nut allergy. One passenger ignored them, opened a packet of nuts anyway, and the girl almost immediately went into anaphylactic shock. Her tongue swelled, she turned blue, and briefly lost consciousness as crew scrambled to inject adrenaline and prepare for an emergency landing, all because one idiotic passenger couldn't resist a snack. The girl barely survived, and the airline banned the selfish passenger for 2 years.
Breaking news, the LAPD just said that Celeste was not frozen and not without her head. I mean, what is going on? So the LAPD captain and commanding officer of the Robbery Homicide Division, Scott Williams, just came out and said that Celeste was not frozen and not without her head, as was previously reported. He said Celeste's body was not frozen, she was not decapitated, the whole frozen thing doesn't even make sense. Her body was in the car for weeks, and even if she had been frozen solid when she was put in the car, which there is no evidence to suggest she was, 5 or more weeks in the trunk of a car in sweltering heat in the middle of summer would have not resulted in a partially frozen body being discovered on September 8th. This is after the medical examiner announced that they received a court order initiated by the LAPD to place a security hold on Celeste's case. This just makes you wonder how much misinformation is being reported about this case, why TMZ is releasing the things that they are, and who can we even believe at this point? Rest in peace to Celeste. Let me know what you guys think about this, and as always, I'll keep you guys updated.
If you're insane like I am, you have obsessively wondered what happened to Jackie O's outfit that she was wearing on the day JFK was assassinated. I was shocked to find out where it is. I'm LZ. I talk about death, true crime, and weird pop culture stuff, so if you're a weirdo too, follow me. It was November 22nd, 1963. President John F. Kennedy and his wife Jackie were in Dallas for a campaign stop. Jackie wore a stunning pink suit with a matching pillbox hat. It was meant to signal elegance and optimism. The dress was a Chanel knockoff designed to look just like a Chanel piece. At 12:30, as the motorcade was rounding the corner at the book depository, 3 shots rang out. The last one killed JFK. Blood spattered all over Jackie and she went into shock, jumping up onto the back of the car and reaching out for security, not really knowing what to do. The car sped off to Parkland Memorial Hospital. Once at the hospital, JFK was in trauma room 1 where they were trying to revive him, though it was pretty clear that he was already gone. Staff suggested that Jackie change her clothes and maybe clean herself up, but she refused and continued to wear the bloody outfit. Somewhere along the line, she lost her pillbox hat, and that is something that I definitely obsess over. Where is that? Did it get thrown into the garbage? Did one of the staff members have it, and now it's just something that gets passed down in the family and nobody talks about it? Where the fuck is that pillbox hat? It has to be somewhere. Where is it? Even if it's in a landfill somewhere, it exists somewhere, but where? It drives me nuts. JFK was pronounced dead just after 1 p.m. and was read his last rites by a Catholic priest. Afterward, Jackie O was allowed to come into the room and say goodbye. They wanted to perform an autopsy there, but Jackie insisted that his body be taken back to Washington. While on Air Force One, Lyndon Johnson was sworn in as the next president, with Jackie standing next to him, clearly in shock and covered in blood. Again, it was suggested that she change, and she said, no, let them see what they've done. It was not just a dress anymore, it was a political statement a grieving widow forcing America to witness the violence. She eventually changed that night and was cleaned up. But what's crazy is that the suit was never cleaned. Instead, it was sent to the National Archives, where it still remains. It's in a temperature-controlled vault, and as per the Kennedys' wishes, will not be open for display or public viewing at all until the year 2103. If you want, you can see terrible replicas of it in different museums around the country and I'd imagine around the world. I was so lucky to get to go to the 6th floor museum at Dealey Plaza in Dallas, which is the former book depository, and you can go to the grassy knoll, you can go into the book depository. They have so much memorabilia. They have X's on the pavement on the road where the shots actually happened. And it's such a historic spot. To actually be there is so crazy. And if you get the chance, if you're ever in Dallas, you 100% should go. Jackie O's pink dress and hat are more than fashion. They are a time capsule of trauma. This dress holds one of the darkest moments in American history, and Jackie made sure that we will never forget it.
I mean, knowing what we know now about the situation, a lot of it could have been fabricated to, present the story and to fit the narrative that they were pushing. Because obviously when your own people take you out, they're going to paint whatever story they want. So people believe their side and they don't look any deeper into it. But now we know the truth, so there's a lot more questions to be asked here.
Some people don't sleepwalk, they slip. And the places they wake up don't exist anywhere in our world. There's a theory spreading online called the liminal sleepwalker theory. And the creepiest part is how many people swear it's real. It says that a rare group of people don't just sleepwalk, they wander into liminal spaces between realities. Empty hotel hallways, underground parking garages, stairwells lit by buzzing fluorescent lights, spaces you know but shouldn't be in. People who experience it all describe the same thing. They wake up fully conscious in a place that feels abandoned, like time paused. No sound, no air movement, no signs of life, just stillness. One guy on Reddit said he woke up in a glowing yellow corridor that stretched forever in both directions. He walked for minutes, maybe hours, calling out for help until he blinked. Suddenly, he was back in his bed, heart racing, clothes covered in dust. He couldn't explain. Another woman says she woke up in a stairwell with no doors, just endless steps going up and down. And the moment she realized she wasn't supposed to be there, she snapped back into our world. Here's the part that scares researchers. Every sleepwalker who reports this describes the same exact locations, even though nobody has ever found them in real life. So the question is, where are these places, and how are people getting there? As always, stay weird.
An old man in New York put up a flyer inviting people to come and share a cigarette with him. Little did he know that this would happen. You see, a few days ago, Bob handed out some flyers, but one of the people he handed it out to posted online only for it to go mega viral. And I mean, with New York being as crazy as it is, according to the online event listing, 2,500 people actually went. Videos online showed people chanting Bob's name, turning up on pogo sticks, climbing lampposts and traffic lights just to get a glimpse of him. And this is all for an event that was from 2 p.m. to 2:05 p.m. But that was 5 minutes where New Yorkers put aside their agendas, politics, race, or religion and united over one shared interest.
We want your Marlboros. We want Bob.
Even if that interest is, well, at least he said this.
If you don't smoke, don't start. If you currently smoke and you have the willpower, quit.
New York, please stay this way.
See, I know this is supposed to be the dark side of TikTok, but we all need a little bit of a wholesome moment here and there. Everybody, the world is very crazy. We all need to share some happy moments. So this was a very wholesome thing. So W Bob, smoking is not a good thing, but this was a very good moment, and he even spread a good message. So thank you guys for watching the video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your favorite part of the video made you tremble in your boots, and we're going to be on to the next one. Thank you.